I have a story to tell. I'm going to try and tell it in just a few minutes. I've been practicing it, and here's another attempt. I think the story will get better. There are 5 elements to the story that I need to remember in a certain order. Start telling it. It's about a young man. We'll call him Iam. A young man. His name is Iam. I-A-M. Iam was from a broken home. It happened early, but he does remember the time when his parents were together. And then he was under his mother's care, and then his father's care, and then his mother's care and his father's care, and back and forth. And one time, he was with his father when he was 5 years old, and he was bitten by a dog. Father's friends had a dog that was unattended. He was 5 and reached out to the dog, and the dog bit him in the temple. And they washed the blood away, and it was just 3 stitches, but it was close. The beast had almost consumed the child's head. Or could have. But he was rescued just in time. That was a traumatic experience, but he doesn't remember it. He doesn't remember it. He just remembers reaching out to the dog. And then he remembers blood in his eyes. And water washing it away. And it left an impression on him. Every time he saw a big dog, he was terrified. He was terrified. But good things started happening in his life. When he was 7, he saw a movie that changed his life. It was Star Wars. His imagination went wild. He forgot about the beast, I guess. But his imagination went wild. And he imagined himself as the characters in Star Wars, and he loved the story of justice. And he made a best friend when he was 9 who loved that same story, and they wrote their own story. They used their names and wrote fantasy stories about triumphing over evil, doing good, and hanging around with your friends and enjoying it. Just like the Marvel movies. They're just a bunch of really powerful individuals who get to hang out with each other and fight with each other and argue. But that was the real life. You know, we're all superhero kind of. That story we all believe. We're all important. And then he moved away from that friend. When he was about 13, he encountered a beast in a dark, it wasn't a cave. He was on a walk at night in the mountains, alone, and came to where the trees grew thick over the road, or his passage, and there was just a pin of light at the other end. He had to walk through there. Already knowing there was a beast in there. He knew there was a beast in there. But he had to get through this darkness to get home. He thought the beast would be in the distance, but it was close. It growled at him. He was 13. he overcame. He called out to the owner. The owner was home. The light turned on. And called. The owner of the beast summoned it away. And he was allowed passage to his home. A few years later, his teachers called upon him to write a story. And he thought about overcoming the beast, the fear of the beast. And he wrote it into a short story. And eventually he made it into a short film. But that's the end of the story. That's a story I'm going to try and keep telling. It comes out differently every time, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe one of these versions of the story will be one that gets passed around.